Hey, what's going on, everybody? Christian here. Hope you all have had a great week. So, my whole thought today, if you will, not just today, it's actually been for like the past month. But let's just go with you know, life is more of a marathon than it is a sprint. I've been a sprinter forever, so I'm really trying to shift my perspective on, pulling back and being able to just take it for what it is and taking on the much longer journey than trying to just keep running because I will like sprint and I can go on for a while, then I get completely gassed out and you have to end up either stopping and then you just like fall over because you're because you feel like you're about to die. And so there's that, and I've done that quite a few times and I think I'm still doing it. So I'm trying to, get myself to learn and accept on the aspect of pulling back and being like, okay, let me go a little bit slower. Let me wait a little bit longer. Let me go, walk hand in hand with God on this journey instead of me running forward, because then that just makes me fall. And the fall really hurts. So with that being the idea is, let's just jump into some of the scriptures. There's so many that jumped out and that were just like, I want a spot. And I was like, okay, well, that'll take me hours to go through. So let me just pull out a handful. Granted, it was a big handful, but I still grabbed these. So Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? Do not be terrified nor dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. That's good. It's just helpful to hear those words and remember that he's always there, and he's never not there. Even though you don't see him or hear him or feel him, it's kind of part of my season is I don't get any of that from him, and it's super annoying. To say the PG version. Um, but it's all part of it. It's all part of the life and the lessons. So Psalms 107:28. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and He brought them out of their distresses. Again, it's doesn't say when, it just says that. So just remembering that more people have gone through bigger and worse, harder things in life, than what even you or I are going through. So knowing that He's going to be there for that. We got 1 Corinthians 9:24, which was a big one. It's kind of the one that started this whole thought process earlier this week was, do you not know that those who run in a race all run, but only one receives the prize. Run in such a way that you may win. So again, running as in just keeping the endurance and just so you can go longer and just keep going. The whole idea behind consistency over intensity is that you just keep going and that you don't stop because it doesn't matter how intense you are, you'll eventually gonna burn out. And that's the stage I hit in a way recently. So just remembering that life is a marathon, it is a long, long lifetime of a journey, and it's got different seasons in it, but being able to hold on and wait, and not trying to just sprint to the next goal or mile marker kind of thing. And that's how my brain has been so accustomed and taught and trained, and that I'm trying to untrain my mind in that way. So anyways, that's a good one there. So Hebrews 12:1 and 2. Therefore, since we also have such a great cloud of witnesses surrounding us, let's rid ourselves of every obstacle and the sin which is so easily entangles us, and let's run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking only at Jesus, the originator and perfecter of the faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, disposing or despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. So again, that one was just I just saw, and it was again just more confirming the idea of endurance, running, just taking the time, and again just keeping our eyes on Jesus, and then he'll add all these things to you. What was it? Matthew 6:33, I think it was, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these will be added to you. I think that's what it was. Anyways, so it's just remembering to keep him first and to always keep him in this line of sight, and so easy for us to get shifted off course. That's kind of what I did. So don't do that. It really sucks. He's trying to realign you. Galatians 5:7-10. You were running well. Who hindered you from obeying the truth? This persuasion did not come from him who calls you. A little leaven leavens the whole lump of dough. I have confidence in you, in the Lord, that you will adopt no other view but the one who is in view, but the one who is disturbing you will bear the punishment, whoever he is. So when I was reading that one, I was just thinking of it was just kind of talking about how, he's the one who's there to help you. Doesn't mean bad things aren't going to happen and you're not going to go through trials, of course, but he's there to help you. So he's not going to be hindering you. So who would be one to hinder you and mess with you? That's the enemy, and or just our flesh in general, because it's not always the enemy. He can't be everywhere with everyone all the time. He's not that good. But just our flesh even is kind of what we're facing and battling every day. And there's so many different forms of that I'm still learning more and more about. And I'm like, hey, I really thought I knew a lot, and then I was like, smacked upside the head by God. And it's like, okay, I actually still don't know anything. Awesome. So just remember that the flesh will always get in your way in a different way than what you thought. Second Timothy 4:7. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the course. I have kept the faith. That was when I was reading that one. It was when Paul was he's like, man, I've been suffering so much in this life that there's going to be, and I've been doing it all, focusing on God and doing all the good things and blah blah blah. He's like, I know there's going to be so much righteousness and love and blessings that I'm going to get. So he's like, so I'm ready for those. So it's just kind of nice to hear him being super uh joyful about how much he was suffering. He's like, man, I've been putting in the work. I'm ready for what's going to come afterwards, kind of thing. So I was like, okay, respect. I have no idea what that looks like right now, but things to learn, right? Okay, fun one for James 1, 2 to 8. Consider all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance, and let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. And it's like, okay, that is awesome right there. But then we have to deal with that fleshly side. Then it comes into, but if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But he must ask in faith without any doubting. For the one who doubts is like the surf of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For that person ought not to expect that he will receive anything from the Lord, being a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. And I was like, ouch, okay. So I'm still kind of learning that process of what that whole heart posture and enjoying the suffering in the moment and what that really means, and me actually just being mad at God and how much I've been yelling at him recently. So still trying to figure out that one on my end, but looking at that a little bit deeper, it's like, okay, how do I need to see this? How do I change my mindset and my heart posture? And actually, I'm still actually trying to find out what that really means, honestly. So that's still part of my journey. But anyways, it was interesting to be able to again read that and just know that we're gonna suffer and it's gonna suck. And but it's gonna be good in the end. But it doesn't help whenever you're just kind of there because you're like, I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. All right, Hebrews 13:5. I'll never desert you, nor will I ever abandon you. Again, just more good stuff to hear that he's there and he hasn't left, even though it really feels like it sometimes. Revelation 3:19, those whom I love, I rebuke and discipline. Therefore, be zealous and repent. His rebuking and his discipline really takes a different turn than what you get in this world. So yeah, that's fun. But anyways, again, that was just one that helped me out. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for prosperity and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Again, just knowing that what is his word is truth, and he's done more for others, more bigger things uh, than he's done for others. So if he can do that for them, he can do this for me. And I just have to learn the lessons and be patient and get closer to him, and kind of suffer in silence, kind of thing, and just enjoy this trip to hell. Apparently, Romans 8:28. And we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. His purpose being, love him with all your heart, soul, strength, mind, and being, and, focus entirely on him. And then the calling he gives us afterwards, then that's awesome. He gives us something else to that we can focus on and work on and et cetera, et cetera. But his purpose is him and doing what's right there. And then lastly, Isaiah 55:8, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor your ways, my ways, declares the Lord. Yeah, that's fun. Really, I know that, and yet it still really doesn't help in the season and in the moment because then you're just like, well, I hear you, I get it, but also it still sucks. I'm still suffering, still crying, still here, still all these things. So yeah, it still sucks, no matter what, but being able to keep that faith and trust. And I don't know, I'm kind of thinking of it in a sense of he has to go through a season, you learn some stuff, you grow in some areas, and then that's really tested at those wilderness seasons. And then whatever that looks like, however that long that takes, whatever it looks like, I don't know. But then that's when you're just tested and challenged, and then you get through it or you don't, or you learn what you need to or you don't, or whatever that looks like. I don't know. So I'm still trying to, I just started thinking about that earlier, so I'm still trying to understand enough of a way that I can compute it in my mind and I can go, okay, I can think of it like this, and now it makes sense. But either way, I'm more or less, just in the dark and not knowing how things work because it's him. And so, anyways, these are just some scriptures that it jumped out at me that I'm, reading daily, that are able to help me out. And, you know, that's at least helping me out right now, just knowing that I gotta change how I think and do things on being more endurance based and just enjoying this however much you can enjoy the season of suffering and all that fun stuff. So, anyways, those are just some of my thoughts and what's been going on here for me recently. So, um, I hope the best for everyone. I hope you guys find uh, and the guides are able to open up and talk with you and show you what it is that you need to be doing. I just hope this was able to maybe help someone else. If not, I know it's kind of just me to be able to sit here and think about things. So, anyways, love you guys. Talk to you next time.